he can just get away. If I play rook e1 check and bishop g5, he just castles. I want to play maybe bishop g4 or queen a4 check with this idea of bishop d1. Yeah, it seems a little bit fantastic. So I guess some kind of straightforward play is in order here. Bishop g4. When my bishop is a bad bishop, but it's not so bad. I can always trade it for a knight. Rook e1. Okay, so now it's just a matter of being practical. Maybe a4, gaining some space on the queen side. We'll go. Also b4 should be considered. I'm a little worried about bishop f6 type of ideas for black. Rook b1 with the idea of b4. It looks very strategic. Maybe he's going to play bishop g5 and try to trade. However, then I have f4. This position is absolutely 100% Mamedyarov. The guy has used a minute so far. A minute for 13 moves. I guess not that bad. Not that unusual. I used a huge time, so now we just have to play like it's a blitz game. I wanted to try to get the maximum I could. We've got a little bit of something here. Again, I think Mamedyarov would beat this guy handily, but I'm not sure b4 is enough. Bishop e3 traps a piece in some lines. I think we'll try this. Improving the position just a little. This shores up the c4 square, and I want to play b4. Is anything threatening me? Not really. And my bishop has multiple ways to go. I can play bishop back to d1 or bishop h3 as the need arises. Yeah, I think he can blockade here with bishop on d6. So maybe it's a little tough to decide which way to go. Bishop d1. Changing directions. I changed my plan now. Trying to exploit the white squares. If bishop g5, I have f4. It's pretty double-edged, but it's a pretty big space advantage for white, and I control the center, and the e5 square would be mine. It's kind of scary how fast Asterix is played. I guess he's just a bullet chess player. He obviously is playing his favorite opening system. I'm not really thrilled about bishop d1. I feel like I'm waffling a little bit, but I have a lot of possibilities. Bishop b2, bishop a4, I'm bc, but I was double taking on the idea of b takes c because it's sort of anti-positional, but he can take with a d pawn, and he's got a really good blockade of the d6 square, and it does liberate a lot of possibilities for him. h5, yeah, I think this is kind of a fishy move. h5. We're happy to see his rook on f8. Okay, he's guarding his knight on h5. I guess he was worried about g4. Maybe it's not a fishy move. Actually, maybe the guy had a really legitimate reason to do that. So now knight e4, and our pieces are excellent, really excellent here. Perhaps he can try. This stops bishop g5. It discourages bishop f6. Maybe at some point we should play to open up the second front on the king side. But I'm not really sure how to do it. G3, king h1, and like f3 and g4, something like that. He's offering the bishop pair. Wow. But it's somewhat consistent. Let's take on c5. We got to decide here. He took with the b pawn. Happy to see that, because I really like open files. Knight takes f6. Gonna go for the bishop pair. We don't have to rush it though, with anything. Like rook on the 7th, he'll just trade it off, I guess. So we need to be kind of flexible. I'm a little worried about, let's see, the king side pieces. So maybe bishop d2, keeping our options open. I don't want to commit to bishop b2, have him go queen g5, and have some kind of kingside threats. We can put the bishop on the long diagonal any time. He's got a kind of stranglehold on the king side. It's pretty nasty. Bishop d7, bishop takes f5 at some point, trading one bishop off, and then putting another bishop on the diagonal, on the long diagonal. Looks pretty sensible to me. So the plan is bishop takes f5 and like bishop c3, which should leave me with a slight edge. Of course, he could trade queens, but then we play bishop there anyway. Okay, bishop takes, bishop c3, and we're not letting him on the long diagonal. The back rank is guarded. He doesn't have knight d4, so he's, and also we have rook e1 if we want at some point. No, it looks dangerous for him on the long diagonal. Bishop a1. Not that easy though. How do I get the queen in front of the bishop to threaten mates on the long diagonal? Looks like we're going to have some work to do here. But he's going to have back rank problems too. I think that's going to be like critical. And if it's a heavy piece ending, I'm going to try to avoid that heavy piece ending. So rook queen d7, queen e2 type of thing, or queen e4. Queen e4. In an endgame, I'm slightly better, but I don't know if it's enough to win. And he's got this massive time edge. Thanks everybody for joining us for the stream here. Really tense game. We're way down on the clock, so don't let me forget to just play like it's a 2-minute game. We don't want to, but we could have to consider offering a draw at some point out of practicality. I'm concerned about him going into an ending where I'm better, but I don't have enough time to win. I like Bobby Fischer's chances here. I would put money on a strong GM. Winning with white against an equal opponent in a tournament game. But we got some work to do. I mean, obviously, the back ranks are critical for everybody involved. We'd like to get rid of his knight. Whatever happens, it's going to end up being like a kind of technical finish. Queen d7. I don't know what he's thinking about so long here. Queen g5 maybe. Maybe he's thinking about Queen g5. Threatening knight h4 type of ideas. But, you know, he never really has any threats because I have Queen g3. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to make a kind of default move here. And I think this was probably inaccurate. Because now knight h4, well, actually, I can play g3. It's actually fine. Actually, knight h4, queen e4 is the best. Where we hope and pray we can win this in some kind of very elegant way. Welcome everybody to the channel. We are real low on time here. I would talk more, but I've talked enough. I think my talking days are over in this game. So, Asterix starting to use time. We have ideas. And this is seriously Mamedyarov style position. Space, open file, brutal long bishop. But we're on the brink of a time disaster. And, you know, he could always bail out and, like, give us a pawn with knight d4. Though technically, he should be in pretty bad shape in a queen and rook endgame down a clear pawn. With his king wide open. No, it's very relevant that he didn't fianchetto, but he created this fianchetto-like structure. Well, and like had to give up his dark squared bishop. Consequently, tanking here. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, there's no bishop a1, queen c3 type of stuff. We have other fun things we can do. We'd like to play rook e4. Maybe. And do like the long diagonal mate with a rook sack on d4, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's just not really practical. My mouse is in trouble, and we need to make a move here. So he's playing this move. Okay, queen e4. This guards everything. It's the universal move. We still have over a minute. So we've guarded g2. Okay, h4, that's logical. I'm going to play king h2. I think that's safest place for my king. We're toying with the idea of trying to play like g3 or something. a4. Putting all our pawns on the right color. Not really sure how to make progress here.